But economic cooperation alone is not enough. Investment requires confidence. Confidence requires stability. And stability begins with security. That brings us to our next discussion. How can peace and security become the foundation of Africa's economic transformation? Ladies and gentlemen, economic development begins with one essential condition: security. No investor commits billions of dollars where violence threatens institutions. No entrepreneur builds factories where conflict can destroy years of investment overnight. Peace is not only a humanitarian objective, it's the foundation of sustainable economic development. Across Africa, security challenges take different forms. In the Sahel, terrorist organizations continue to threaten civilian and national institutions. Around Lake Chad, violent extremism has disrupted economic life for many years. In Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, armed groups continue to fuel instability. Sudan and South Sudan face profound political and humanitarian crises. Somalia continues its long struggle against terrorism. North Mozambique has experienced urgencies affecting strategic energy, investment in the Gulf of Guinea, piracy, and organized crime threaten international maritime trade. Each situation has its own history, its own cause, its own solution, yet they all produce the same consequences. They discourage investment, they weaken institutions, and they slow development. Security today extends far beyond the battlefield. It includes cybersecurity, maritime security, intelligence sharing, border management, financial crime, illegal trafficking, critical infrastructure protection, food security, energy security, and increasingly artificial intelligence. The conflicts of the 21st century are fought not only with weapons, but also with technology, information, finance, and influence. Africa's first responsibility is to strengthen its own institutions, professional armed forces, effective justice system, transparent governance, regional cooperation, the African Union, regional economic communities, and national leadership. African security must first be built by Africans. That principle is essential. But today's threats are increasingly transnational. No nation can defeat terrorism, organized crime, cyber attack, or illicit financial network entirely alone. International cooperation has therefore become a strategic necessity. When we examine today's geopolitical landscape, objectively, one reality stands out. The United States possesses unique capabilities that can complement African effort. Advanced intelligence system, global satellite network, cyber defense expertise, powerful research institution, maritime capabilities, financial tools to combat illicit network, and decades of experience working with international partners. These capabilities are significant not because they replace African leadership, but because they can reinforce African capacity when cooperation is based on mutual respect and clearly defined objective. The objective is not dependence, the objective is partnership. A partnership where African nations define their priorities, where American expertise supports African initiatives, where sovereignty is respected, where institutions remain strong, and where prevention becomes more important than intervention. Because preventing conflict is always less costly than rebuilding after war. How can such partnership become reality? By expanding intelligence cooperation against terrorism and transnational crime, by strengthening professional training for African security institutions, by investing together in cyber resilience and digital infrastructure, by protecting in strategic maritime routes and critical infrastructure, and by recognizing an essential truth: security and development cannot be separate. School, hospital, road, factories, universities, innovation, jobs, These are also instruments of peace. History has shown the lasting peace is never achieved by military means alone. It is sustained by opportunity, by education, by accountable institution, by economic growth, and by hope. If Africa and the United States succeed in building a relationship founded on trust, shared responsibility, and long-term vision, security will no longer be viewed simply as a response to crisis. It will become the foundation upon which investment, industrialization, and prosperity can flourish. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we have explored three essential questions: why Africa matters, why strategic partnership with the United States matters, and why security remains the foundation of sustainable development. These questions do not concern Africa alone. They concern the future of international community.